All right, y'all, come close because we gotta talk about Stephanie Jenkins, better known across TikTok as Miss TikTok Mom. Now, if you've been scrolling lately, you've probably seen her popping up again on your For You page, posting every day, gushing about Jew like he's some kind of knight in shining armor, talking about how he's providing, showing up, being that man. But let me stop you right there because, baby, the reality behind those TikToks, it's not adding up. Let me break it down for you. Stephanie and her 5 kids are still homeless. Yep, still crammed in that same motel room, still surviving in temporary housing while she's online acting like her whole world just turned into a fairy tale. And while she's posting content that makes it seem like everything's finally working out, the receipts, and I do mean actual receipts, say something very different. So grab your snacks, get comfy, and buckle up because we are about to go piece by piece into what's really going on here. And trust me, once you see behind the curtain, you won't look at TikTok mom the same way again. Stephanie recently uploaded a video showing off her grocery haul that she claimed Drew paid for. At first glance, it looked like a simple post, just a mom sharing what she got from the store. Seems harmless, right? But when you look closer, things don't quite line up. The biggest red flag? Her caption. In it, Stephanie referred to herself as a mom of 7. This might seem small, but to those who've been following her story closely, it was a big shock. She didn't say she's part of a family of 7. She didn't say she's a mom of 5, which is what most of her audience believed up to now. She flat out wrote, mom of 7.
So y'all kept saying, what are you going to buy when you run out of benefits? And you don't have benefits to rely back on. And we kept trying to tell y'all the same damn thing. So here you go. And this is what our typical grocery haul looks like, whether we're on benefits or not, because my man does all of that, coupon and clip and all that stuff. And I cannot even thank my man enough. I'm ever so grateful he takes that part over. I kind of give him a basic idea of what I want to make throughout the week, what fruits I want to have on hand, and he does his best to hop from store to store and find the best deal. And oftentimes we're going to base whatever fruit we have on hand with whatever's best in season at the time. And I know. I thought y'all said you didn't eat dyes or any processed foods. I did say we ain't perfect on that too. But we have kicked the candy habit and we replaced it with fruit snacks, which it's not much better, I do agree, but still. I would say we have relied a little bit more on a bit convenient food because of the situation with the motel and not having an oven, but I just think that's no excuse. Mamas, I gotta do a little bit better. I mean, I do cook at least 2 meals a day, but still, I feel like we've relied a little bit more on convenient snacks for the kids, and I would rather them have handmade snacks, homemade, from scratch type shit. I just gotta do better. I really do. I really appreciate y'all watching. Bye-bye now.
Now, here's the thing. Stephanie is known for carefully editing her content. She picks up her words with intention. This wasn't a live stream or a quick Instagram story. It was a caption, a written post. That means she typed it, read it, and chose to hit publish. Here's the exact caption. Nothing I post is for rage or to catch attention. Everything I post is to share the reality of a mom of 7 who is currently homeless and now is navigating grocery hauls without benefits. I do it to post for the individuals who understand because they are in the same positions. A lot of you who comment don't understand, and that's cool. Don't affect me none. So now we're left wondering, was this an honest slip? Or was it a strategic move to get people talking? Because let's be real, Stephanie knows how to stir a reaction. She's built a platform that thrives on engagement, even if that engagement comes from confusion, controversy, or backlash. And this Mom of 7 line, it did exactly that. It got people buzzing. Comment sections filled up fast with questions. Did she have more kids than we knew? Is she counting Drew's kids, foster kids, stepkids? Is she trying to boost sympathy or clout? To make things even murkier, Stephanie didn't clarify the post afterward. She just left it hanging, knowing full well people were confused.
So, Stephanie Jenkins, you're telling me that you're proud that you went grocery shopping? Actually, you claim that Drew went grocery shopping with all of the kids, which I do not buy it. I don't buy that he did. And anyways, if he did, how did all those babies fit in the car? You're not thinking about all of these little questions that can be asked when you're trying to lie and finesse. But let's get into this grocery haul. Now, first of all, you were talking down bad on everybody who does not make their own, like, baby food, people who are eating processed artificial dyes when Why are you feeding your kid Gushers? My hair is crazy, sorry. Why are you feeding your kid Gushers? If you think Gushers are so bad and Red Dye 40, whatever is bad, why are they eating like this, huh? Because you's a liar. But then you go to say on the same video that you posted how Drew went from store to store to store to get the best deals. 2 stores, 2 receipts. That's it. And as far as coupons go, didn't you say he works there? How's that saving you money if they're coupons if he works there?
And this isn't the first time she's done that. There is a pattern of her making vague, emotionally charged statements, letting the internet explode, and then playing the victim when people start questioning her. So now, naturally, the internet is starting to doubt everything she says. Her words, her motives, her numbers, all of it. And honestly, they have every reason to. Then came the no food stamp celebration video. Stephanie made a post where she acted like they had reached a massive turning point in life. Like this was a sign that they were finally making it, that they were now buying groceries all on their own without the help of government benefits. But let's pause right there. Shouldn't that have been the case already? Stephanie earns regular income from TikTok. She's monetized. She also receives gifts, brand deals, and donations from her large following. And Drew? He works part-time at Safeway. They may not have a full dual income household, but they have some kind of financial inflow. On top of that, they are living in a shelter motel. That means they are not paying for rent, not paying for gas, electricity, or water. A lot of their major living expenses are covered. There are systems in place helping them stay afloat. So the question becomes, why were they still using food stamps to begin with? Food stamps, also known as SNAP benefits, are designed to support families who are working full-time, paying bills, paying rent, and still struggling to put food on the table. It's a safety net for people doing all the right things but still fall short. Meanwhile, Stephanie is creating daily content, drawing in thousands of views, receiving TikTok bonuses, and accepting donations from supporters across multiple platforms. And now that she's been removed from benefits, like due to her reported income, she suddenly wants applause for buying groceries out of pocket? And that's not growth. That's simply doing what most adults already do every single day without needing praise. It's not some breakthrough moment of independence. It's reality. It's adulthood. What makes this even harder to stomach is how she framed it, as if this grocery trip marked a new chapter. But in truth, it marked the end of being able to use a system that she arguably should have phased out a long time ago. It's not about being harsh, it's about being honest. Celebrating a basic necessity only after being cut off isn't something most people would consider a win. But in Stephanie's world, where everything is content, even this becomes part of the performance. Stephanie thanked Drew for going from store to store, searching for the best deals on food. She made it sound like a full-day mission. But then, we saw the receipt. And it turns out he shopped at one store, Safeway, the same store Drew works at. He didn't search around town. He just picked up groceries at his job. The receipt was another red flag. It was folded. That part that shows how the groceries were paid for, covered up. That's usually where it says if it was paid with a debit card, EBT, gift card, or employee discount. But one line that was visible said $0 tax, which often means EBT was used, or possibly a veteran discount, or maybe he used an employee perk. Either way, people started to ask questions, and with Stephanie, there is always just enough mystery to leave everyone guessing. The math doesn't add up. Here's where it really starts to fall apart. If they could afford full grocery hauls now, why are they still homeless? Why are all the kids still sleeping in one tiny motel room, packed together with barely enough space to move? Why hasn't anything changed? Even after months of donations, TikTok gifts and monetized content? Groceries are important, yes. Kids need to eat, but housing is a foundation. A stable home gives kids safety, privacy, structure. If Stephanie and Drew can't afford to drop hundreds on food in one trip, shouldn't they be able to start saving for a down payment on a trailer? Or at least a deposit in a modest rental? Let's break it down further. They are not paying for rent, not paying for utilities. They have received donations. Stephanie earns from TikTok. Drew brings in part-time income. With all that combined, it seems almost impossible that they haven't been able to get out of the motel unless they don't actually want to. And that's the hard truth some people are starting to consider. That maybe, just maybe, Stephanie and Drew are choosing to stay in this cycle. Why? Because the longer they stay stuck, the more the story sells. The more sympathy rolls in, the more followers engage, the more money gets sent their way. Being homeless has, in a twisted way, become part of their brand. They didn't stop using food stamps because they matured or reached financial independence. They stopped because they had to, because the system finally caught up with their income level. This wasn't a growth moment, it was a forced change, and they are now spinning it as a success to maintain control over the story. In one video, Stephanie made a bold claim. She said she only feeds her kids natural, healthy food, that she doesn't allow candy or processed snacks. She went on to talk about clean eating, avoiding food dyes, and protecting her children from junk that could affect their mood, behavior, or health. She even made it sound like she had completely transformed their diet and daily habits. But then, in that same grocery haul video, we saw gushers, fruit roll-ups, not just any snacks, but the kinds that are full of artificial colors, sugar, and preservatives, and everything she claimed to avoid. These are the very products you defined on a do not eat list in any basic nutrition guide. What's more, she said she had kicked all candy out of her house, that she didn't even allow it in the room. But here's the thing, there is no house. They are still living in a motel where space is limited and there is no real pantry to clean out. If she was really serious about keeping processed snacks away from her kids, how did these sugary treats end up in her shopping bags in the first place? It's a contradiction that gets people talking. She makes strong, confident claims in one breath, and her own footage tells a completely different story in the next. It's hard to take those statements seriously when the evidence is so clear and proves otherwise. Viewers aren't just nitpicking, they're watching closely and they're noticing the gaps. This wasn't a slip-up, this was a choice, and it makes people wonder what else isn't adding up. The Jew hero dad narrative falls apart. Stephanie called Drew a hero dad for taking all 5 kids shopping. She praised him for giving her a break and stepping up when she needed it most. In the video, she painted a picture of a loving, involved father who was managing the chaos of a large family with grace and care. Sounds sweet, right? It almost makes you want to root for him. But then you stop and remember, their car only fits 5 people. That includes the driver. So let's do the math. If Drew was driving and had 5 kids with him, where did the 6th person sit? It doesn't add up. Most of the kids are still young. Some require car seats by law. That limits space even more. And even the older kids, they legally shouldn't be riding up front in most states. So how exactly did this heroic dad outing happen? And that's not even the only thing that's off here. Stephanie is now hyping Drew up like he's the dad of the year. But it wasn't long ago when she was online saying the complete opposite. She used to say he never helped, that he ignored the kids, that he constantly let them down, that he broke promises, that he made her daughter cry. So what changed? One shopping trip suddenly erases all that history? Are we supposed to forget all the emotional videos where she cried over how unsupported she felt? And now, just like that, he's super dad? It feels more like another curated storyline than a true change in behavior. Another episode in the ongoing saga where the characters shift roles depending on what narrative Stephanie needs that day. The constant contradictions. Over and over, Stephanie has said she does everything on her own, that she wakes up early, gets all the kids dressed and fed, cleans the motel room, teaches them through homeschooling, manages appointments and juggles all their needs while Drew just lays around doing nothing. She painted him as completely uninvolved, someone who offered zero help while she carried the entire weight of the family. And now, one trip to Safeway and he's the father of the year? A quick grocery run and suddenly all the past complaints are forgotten? You can't tell two stories at once and expect people not to notice. Either he is constantly absent or unhelpful like she claimed for months, or he's this amazing partner who's stepping up and making life easier for her. Which is it? This flip-flopping is getting hard to ignore. People remember what she said. They remember the tears, the emotional breakdowns, the accusations. Now they are watching her praise the same man she once said didn't even try. And the sudden change doesn't feel like growth. It feels like damage control. A rebranding of the narrative to make Drew more likable or to gain back some sympathy. But instead, it's making more and more people question everything she says. They're starting to see through the storyline, and they're not buying it anymore. Emotional manipulation and rage baiting. There is a pattern with Stephanie. She knows exactly how to keep people talking. She crafts her posts with just enough bait to stir up outrage, sympathy, or confusion. She shares captions that are vague enough to spark debate but calculated enough to avoid giving real. Her video clips often leave out crucial context or come across as emotionally charged without fully explaining what's going on. It's designed to make profit, fill in the blanks, and argue about it. Then, when the backlash comes, she flips the script. Suddenly, she's the victim. She says she's being bullied. She says people don't understand her journey or that she is being attacked for being honest online. But it's a movie we've seen from her over and over again. She plays both sides masterfully. 1 minute, she's tough and empowered, claiming she doesn't care what people think and that she's doing her best. The next, she's posting tearful videos or venting about how cruel the internet has been to her. This constant flip-flop keeps her at the center of attention and keeps people emotionally invested, whether they are fans or critics. She says she's posting for the moms who relate, that she's sharing her truth for people in the same position. But when the truth keeps shifting, and when she never owns up to the inconsistencies, it feels less like honesty and more like manipulation. And slowly but surely, people are catching on. The contradictions are half-truths. The emotional roller coaster, it's starting to push viewers away. Because you can only play both sides for so long before people stop playing along. Stephanie Jenkins has created a brand around struggle, around the idea of being a mom who is doing her best against all odds. But the truth is getting harder to hide. Too many inconsistencies, too many half-truths, too many edits that leave out the full picture. And now, instead of being honest, she is building a fantasy where she and Drew are thriving while their kids are still in the same cramped motel. If Drew is providing now, if they are buying food with their own money, if they care about the kids' well-being, why are the kids still living like this? It's time for real answers. Let us know what you think in the comments. Do you believe Stephanie's story, or are you seeing through the TikTok version? Like, share, and subscribe for more breakdowns. There is so much more to uncover. We're just getting started.